Now we will talk about two special types called any and unknown. And the any lets us to completely disable the type check. For example, if I will have a variable called query result, and we don't know exactly what will receive in this variable, I can say that this is 5. And now currently the type of this query result will be number. But if I will add a type annotation right here with any, now the type of this query result will be any, and I will be able to assign it to any other value. And I will be able to do this only as long as this is declared as let. So now I can say that query result is 5 as a string. And this is available, this is a JavaScript topic. If I will save this as a constant, now I will have a compilation error because I can't reassign this variable. But let's keep it a let to understand the types concerned right here. And now, if for example I can say that query result is maybe a string array, a number array, it doesn't really matter as long as any completely disables, I will write right here, disables the type check like this. And let's say that we have a function that returns a salary from an external service. I will write this function, and let's say that this function receives an employee ID, it looks on a database somewhere secure and returns us back a JSON parse. And I chose this JSON parse function, intrinsic function from JavaScript, is that it returns any. Since this parse function receives a text of type string and it doesn't know exactly what it will find in that text string, it will return us any. Well, if since this function is returning any, then also this function is still returning any. Well, there's a much better way to handle these cases in which we don't know exactly what we are receiving inside our code, what we are receiving from an external service, be it an API, be it a function call, and so on. We can use, instead of writing right here any, because we don't know exactly what we will use, we can say unknown. If we don't know what we will receive, we can simply use an unknown. And why is this very important? Let me remove this unknown, and for example I can say right here, let salary is get salary from external service. I will put a 5 right here. I can say right here salary, and I can use the plus plus operator for this even if I don't know exactly if this is a number. And this is just a simply asking for trouble. You know, this is a bug happening, waiting to happen. This is a very bad practice. What I can say right here is I can say that this function returns unknown. So I don't know what I will receive. I will have to check once I will receive it. And this type definition of unknown will force me to make further type checks. Currently, I will say that it will tell me, hey, salary is of type unknown, so you can't use this operation on it. You need to make sure that this is a number, and then you can make this operation on it. And how we can say this? I will simply make a check if, and we will use the type of operator that we talked 2 lectures before. And if the type of this salary is number, then inside this if check, then this will work, because right here this type will be number. This is called type narrowing, a very important technique. Again, we can make further checks. If for example I can say that this make the check, maybe this is a string. And now I can maybe includes, I can make a check, maybe salary. I can call string functions, like for example includes. I want to see if this salary includes the $sign. You know, I can call string operations right here because now I know that this is of type string. And I can also maybe make further checks. If for example I can say right here type of salary is string or type of salary is number, then I can only call the JavaScript functions common to string and to number inside this. For example, these are the 3 variables, these are the 3 functions that are existing for both numbers and strings inside JavaScript. And let's see an interesting example, and I will pause the video and write it. We have an argument of type salary, which is unknown at this point. Let's say that we want to make sure that we want to check if this salary is of type array. How we can make this check? Where there are lots of points we can do right here. First of all, we need to check if this type of salary is object. And then we can say that we want to store, let's say we want a salary history array. Let's say that our object has a history and we want to track down the evolution of a salary of an employee. We want to see if this has a field called history. So this is the way we can check for fields inside TypeScript, and also we want to make sure that this history entry is of type array, and we can do this with the array function from JavaScript. At this point, this history will be an array, and at this point we are able to push elements to it. So we saw in this lecture how the any objects, any types and unknown types work in TypeScript. The question is if any disables the type check, why does it exist, and why don't we only have unknown, since it's using it is a much better practice. Where there are points in which we can use any. Maybe when we want to start the migration of a JavaScript project to a TypeScript project. You know, we have a code base and we want to introduce TypeScript inside a JavaScript project. We can start by annotating everything with any and then slowly deleting those annotations. So start of JS to TS migrations. Also, maybe sometimes we can use this inside unit tests. Again, right here, this is a accepted practice, since unit tests already make all kind of checks. There's their purpose. If we use any, then we assume that we know what we are doing. And also from time to time, you'll see this in code bases, but be very careful when you use it. Make sure that you limit the use of any.